Okay, um, today I'm gonna talk a little bit about a tool or a platform called Cloudron. Cloudron helps you manage your self-hosting platform quite easily. It may not be directly at the first glimpse be related to cybersecurity, which is my usual topics, but you'll see later on that there's still some things that you can do with it. For example, easily provision a VPN service or easily provision your own guacamole service, which is used to remotely connect to other servers. So these are the two use cases that I'm going to show you later. Uh, what we need for this is all free for now. So obviously we need, as usual, a cloud server. I'm gonna use Oracle again today, and I've explained this last time how you get your free tier access and what you can do with it. Second thing is we're gonna need a domain name, which is in my case I'm using one that I already had, which is not free, but I'll also show you a way how to get the free domain name very easily. Um, and then other than that, we need Cloudflare free tier, which is also free of charge entirely for the free tier for the basic version. And then we need Cloudron, obviously, which is also free for up to 2 apps. There's other options that you can use to do this. So for the first thing, we're gonna start simply by basically creating our Ubuntu cloud instance on Oracle. So we have seen this before, but I'm gonna go through it really quick again. So we are here hosted on the Singapore instance since I'm in the Philippines. So this is the nearest one, and we're just gonna say create instance. We leave the instance name. It doesn't really matter. In our case, the compartment is called demo. That doesn't matter really also. And as you can see here, we're gonna go with editing the image and shape as we have done before. We changed the image. What we're gonna do is basically we're gonna use Ubuntu 20.04. Gonna select the image. Then here we're gonna change the shape again. So there's always free eligible virtual machine images here for ours today. I'm gonna use an Intel based one, and I'm gonna use the basic one here, the simple VM standard flex. This one here. Leave it all as is. That's good enough for us. Select the shape. Again, we are going to save our private and public key here, which we'll be needing later. And that's pretty much it. We say create, and we'll wait a couple of seconds until our VM is created. Okay, there we go. Our virtual machine is created. We have all the relevant information as we need it here. Public IP, username, we got the keys. We'll need that later. We will do one thing. We'll go here to the subnet. We'll need to grant access from externally facing sources to port 80 and port 443. So we're just gonna configure this real quick. Default security list here, as you can see, ICMP only and TCP port 22, which is for the SSH access, which we'll also need later. So we're gonna add two ingress rules. The first one we're gonna add from anywhere. We allow TCP. We allow also spots, but we limit it to port 80 here, and we call this HTTP allow. Sorry. And then we add the ingress rule, and we're gonna create the second one, which we follow the same logic. And oh, sorry, typo. And then we are gonna allow port 443 HTTPS, and we call it HTTPS allow. And we're gonna say add ingress rule here as well. Got the two rules created. That's pretty much all we need here from this particular window. And then we next go to the configuration of the domain name. Okay, so I cheated a little bit here, obviously, right? So I've already created my free Cloudflare account or account here, and I'm logged in already. So we're gonna add our site now. So I have this site, this domain name called cloudrondemo.info, right? Add this side, very simple, right? So you can choose here your plans if you want anything paid. These are the details what you can get, but we're just gonna go for the free plan here. That's good enough for us. It will now search for the existing DNS records. Okay, so as you can see, this is what is there. We can delete those as we won't need those. And then we're gonna add a record, or actually we don't need to add any record at this point in time. We can just leave it at that. But what we need to do is we need to go to DNS here, and we need to change the name servers, right? We need to change the name servers of the of the host in the hosting provider's panel to point to the Cloudflare name servers. So there we go. We use these two. I have this on the other window, you can see it, but I'm just gonna change this real quick. Then save name servers, and that usually takes a couple of seconds. So I'll just have a quick coffee and then we'll come back here and continue. So this should be okay now. Let's just check the name servers once more real quick. And we'll come back again after a couple of seconds once this is confirmed. Okay, so as we can see now, active, the domain is active in Cloudflare, so we are set here as well. And our next step will now be to actually install Cloudron on the Ubuntu server that created earlier, right? For this, what we need is we already downloaded the signature files, but we need the public IP address here, right? So we're gonna go here, gonna say SSH -L for the user specification. We say Ubuntu, which we know from the portal, right? Then -I for the identity file, which is in C /users /Sigmund, which is myself /desktop, no, download, sorry, downloads /SSH, correct one, there we go, key, and then we specify, of course, the IP address. So this should ask us to continue. Gonna say yes, and voila, we are there online on the Ubuntu machine. So now we actually need some more information from Cloudron. So as you can see here, um, docs. Give it a. It's a bit of a slow connection today. I don't know why. So we're gonna go to the installation part, and this is the only commands you need initially. So we're gonna copy this. There you go, got it. We're gonna change the file to be executable, and we're gonna run it. And of course, of course, I'm not root, so basically, after you have run the installation script, right? The log is located at cloudrun setup.log. You can check here, should end like this, almost done, should be the last log entry. And then on the terminal where you have run the script, it should look like this. It will require you now to reboot the server, which we will do. We will say yes to this. And after it's rebooted, then we should get to this URL, and from there we take it later. So we're just gonna say yes to this one, sorry. And of course, immediately we dropped, and we wait for the reboot to finish and look at it later again. Okay, so now that we see, most likely the reboot has finished. Let's give it a real quick check. Log in there again. There you go. So this is done now. As we have copied the URL earlier, we're just gonna go to a new tab and we're gonna open this new tab. We're gonna say proceed here. That's it, domain setup. So as we know, our domain is Cloudron demo.info, right? So here you have a few options depending on wherever you host it, right? In our case, that is gonna be Cloudflare, and I'll show you now how to get this specific global API key. So obviously, API key token, Cloudflare account, uh, email, and all that, right? You'll also have to specify. Advanced settings, there's a few more things, but we don't need this for the purpose of the demo. So let's go back here to the API settings. So we're here at the correct domain, and basically all the features that we need are in here, right? So overview, analytics, DNS, everything that we need is here. Down here, you scroll. So in the main page, you scroll down here, and you can already see you have your. Don't worry, I know I will share this here on the video, but I'll delete this domain from Cloudflare after the demo, so nothing you can do with this information. So we see get your API token, and there you go, API keys, and what we need here is the global API key. So we're gonna say few. We're gonna need the password in a while, and uh, verify that we are human. So buses. There we go. We have four. Oh, there's another one. So this should be it, and then we put in the password here. So we're gonna put the password in here. And there's your key, which we're gonna need here. And my account email here is this. We have everything set up. Click next here. And from there, it will take a couple of seconds, up to a minute or something like that, until this is done. So let's just wait for this to finish. Before we pause here, so as you can see, it by default goes and creates a DNS record now on the Cloudflare side of my cloud, my dot and your domain name. And once this is done, I will show you this real quick on the Cloudflare environment. Okay, so once the setup is done, it will ask you for a little bit of information. I've created this here as well, and we say create admin. And that's pretty much it. And the next step is you proceed to Cloudflare, but to the dashboard. But let me just show you real quick what it did here, right? So if you go back here to your environment and go to your DNS, right? So as you can see, it created an entry that points to the IP of the cloud uh, Ubuntu server that we created. And as you may notice, be careful with what you create here because it created as DNS only. So if you have a domain name that cannot do this automatically and you need to do it manually, you need to make sure that you do not use proxy connection, right? So keep it at DNS only. Okay. Here, next step is we go proceed to dashboard. And obviously there's no apps installed yet. So the next step before we could start installing applications would be go to the App Store, and for that again we have to create a new a new account here, right? So we're gonna use the same email address that we used for all of this, and the password. And I accept these terms, create account, and it will create account. And there we go. So now, basically, this is pretty much it. Um, I will now start by maybe showing you something fairly easy. As you see, we get an email, verify your email. We do that later. I don't need to do that right now. But basically, this is what we have here. So I'm gonna end this video for today. And in my next video, I will go through the process of installing applications, like for example OpenVPN or Guacamole or some other stuff, and how you make it available for today. So this is pretty much how you set up Cloudron on your own domain for either completely free or a very limited amount of money, depending on the domain that you choose. And this is really a pretty cool tool. Let me maybe just show you the set up the subscription if you ever wanted to. So by default, the free tier only allows you to install two apps. So obviously we need to still verify this, but never mind for now. Um, if you want to do unlimited applications, you can sign up for a premium subscription. So if you pay it for 1 year in advance, that's gonna cost you $15 a month. If you choose the monthly payment, it's quite steep. It's doubles the amount, but well, it is what it is. And for business, obviously this is different. You can get priority support and AD integration, stuff like that, which we usually don't need, right? And that's pretty much it. And looking forward to have you watch my next video where I will walk you through how to set up apps in Cloudron after we have already installed the application. Thank you and take care.